Okay, so I'll share my screen back. Okay, so as part of our roadmap, the first thing is will be learning SQL, SQL followed by Python, Python followed by will be learning data warehousing and then cloud, right? So that's the plan that we have already discussed. And here we will be learning about SQL. So I've already given you the introduction about SQL. This is one of the primary skill that every data driven person should have, right? Irrespective of you're a data scientist, data analyst, or a data engineer, you need to have this skill. This is the only way that you can communicate to a database, and that is structural query language, right? Now here in the structured query language, we have seen what is a SQL. And if you want to communicate to a database, what is database? Database is a place where you can store your data in the form of a table. So I've given you a simple example of how the data can be stored. It will be stored in the form of a table, right? So this is what we are going to create. This is what we are going to access. This is what you're going to work in the upcoming classes. So with this storage, I was telling about this is the most important technology, or you can call it as a skill, which is going to be helpful for data pre-processing. And particularly if I go and compare with all the clients, all the team members, if I go and ask, everyone will point out to SQL first. This is one of the must skill that you need to know if you want to start your career first, right? Now, 55% of all the companies projects across the globe, you can see that they are using SQL, and it will be still used even though it is 50 years in the market. This is always going to be in demand. Okay. I want to tell you a small story. My manager is there. Okay. My manager, he himself calls himself as a project manager, right? His experience is 17 years. His experience in 17 years, right? And in the 17 years, of course, is in our Microsoft, right? If you ask him what is the skills he knows only SQL, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. Okay. So we are all here to learn maybe SQL, Python, data engineering, and in data engineering, we are going to learn cloud, and then also we are thinking about multi-cloud here, right? I have a manager who is 17 years of experience, nothing he knows except SQL. But you know what? He is expert. He's expert. Whatever query, whatever the question you ask, he will always tell the answer and in a most optimized manner. Expert. I will always call him as an expert, right? 17 years, day in and day out, every single day he has worked on SQL, right? And a person who knows only SQL in Microsoft, you will not believe, 74 lakhs is package. You can just go and Google it. 74 lakhs minus 30% tax. How much you'll get hand CTC? You can calculate it. Just knowing SQL, 74 lakhs. Just knowing SQL. Now, the reason why I'm asking you is just I'm not asking you to learn only SQL. I'm telling you the importance of SQL here. I'm telling you the importance of SQL, right? SQL is the most important processing that you can do on a database. So try to learn with interest. This comes with a bit of coding, but nothing to worry. We will learn everything from scratch, right? Now, here, in order to understand better, I have given you two difference. One is called OLAP and one is called OLTP. At first, it was very blank, but I've given you an example. The best example for OLTP is online transactional processing. I've clearly told you it is ATM transaction, right? You go to ATM, you withdraw some money, you put your PIN, and within milliseconds, you'll get a message saying that the amount has been changed in your bank, right? Even though if you have a network problem like maybe a Geo or Airtel, if you don't get message, that's fine. You can always go and check your net banking, it would have affected. So every millisecond, the transaction has to be affected. Now that is where we call it as online transactional processing. And for online article processing, I give an example for Netflix. Netflix, right? You watch 5 days, good movies, maybe romantic, thriller, or biographic, whatever it is. The sixth day, you'll get a recommended movie. And that is what it happens as they're doing analysis. They're not giving you the results immediately. They're going to give you results maybe from 2 days to 5 days or 6 days, right? So this is the two examples that we have seen. And I've given you all this example in terms of to remember, right? Netflix, and also I've given an example of how Amazon works. You go and add a product to the cart, keep adding, keep removing, keep adding, keep removing, and one fine day they'll give you the offers, discounts, and cashbacks for you, right? Now, with this, we have seen the difference between OLAP and OLTP. Now, where is the data getting stored? The data is getting stored in database. The data is getting stored in database, right? Now, if you see here, we have total of, as an example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 databases, right? We have 6 databases. Now, in this databases, we will have a data that is getting stored. Now, if you want to communicate to this database, you need to know language called SQL. If you want to communicate with this database, you want to know one language called SQL. SQL, 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 SQL. That means you talk to any database, you need to know SQL. As simple as that, right? Let it be any database in the market. If you want to go and talk to the database, you need to know SQL. See, if I learn English, I can survive in India. I can survive in US, UK, Canada, Germany. Wherever I go, I can survive. Why? Because across the globe, everyone knows English. Everyone knows English, right? But if I if I am here in front of you taking a class for you, my English will be very, very basic level. I don't use any complex words. I don't use any big vocabularies, right? I use a very simple words. But if you ask me, is the same way I talk in office? The answer is no. If you ask me, is it the same way that I talk to US clients? The answer is no. When I'm talking to US people, my slang will be different. I'll try to add some vocabularies and form a good sentence, right? I'll use some posh words. That's what I talk to my clients. But if I talk to my team, I'll keep it very simple. I have another client who works in Sri Lanka. There are a couple of clients whom I work in Sri Lanka. For Sri Lankan guys, I have to speak very slowly. For US guys, I have to speak very fast and with a very standard words. And for India, I'll just speak in a normal English, right? So what do you understand from this? English is same. Where I talk, slightly it is changing, right? Maybe my vocabulary or words or sentence formations, right? The use of posh words, maybe that can change. Similarly, if you consider about SQL, 95% of times your syntax is same across all the databases with just 5% of minute changes. Imagine there is one keyword, which keyword it may work here, it may work here, and it may not work here, or it may work here, it may not work here. There are certain commands which is specific to particular database, right? Now, here we are not focusing on database, we are focusing on language. We are here to learn the language SQL, right? So SQL is a language. We are going to communicate with any database, and if you are learning SQL, you can go and talk to any database 95% of the times. 5% small changes will be there. No need to worry. Let's look at the 95% and let's not focus on that 5%. Okay. Now, in this database, we have to choose one database to learn our syntax, to learn our language, we need one database. And that database that we are going to learn in our course will be MySQL. So MySQL is a database, Oracle is a database, DB2 is a database, IBM is a database, SQL Server is a database, Postgres is a database. Now I've given you this example, but again I'm giving you, imagine you're going to a shop to buy a pen drive. Pen drive is a pen drive, but you will have SanDisk, you will have Transcend, you will have Sony, you will have Samsung, right? So you have different type of brands. Similarly, there are databases which we have different type of brands. The company for themselves, they have created their own database. If you talk about Oracle, they have created their own database. SQL Server, they have created their own database. And come on, IBM also have their own database. Now, like this, we have many databases. So today we will be learning MySQL. But you may ask me a question. You may ask me a question. Okay, you're going to teach me MySQL, but in my real time or a real company or the company which I go, they're using SQL Server or they're using Oracle or they're using DB2. Should I come back to you and ask, okay, teach me this database, or what is the approach? Okay, for this, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. For the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes, just imagine that this is not a data engineering class. This is not a SQL class. Just imagine you have all joined here for computer class. You don't know how to use computer. So I'm going to teach you how to use computer, right? So in computer, we have mouse, we have CPU, we have monitor, we have all of these components, right? Now, simple question. If I ask you how to use pen drive, I'm going to teach you how to use pen drive. If that is the topic for today, what I'll tell, okay, you open the pen drive and you plug it into the 3.0 USB port. And by the time you import, there is a slightly in the right side corner, you'll get one new device notification. Go and open that new device. Automatically, your pen drive will be shown, and you do copy, delete files, images, documents, movies, everything you do, whatever you want. And most importantly, while while removing the pen drive, you have to go and click on that pen drive, right click, there is an option called eject, and then you have to eject it. Now this is what I'm going to teach you as part of today's session, how to use pen drive. Okay, now the pen drive which I've used was Sony pen drive. Okay, now all done, class done. You're going home. In your home you have Samsung pen drive. Today I taught you Sony pen drive, but in your practice session, imagine that you have a Samsung pen drive. Will you come back to KSR and fight with Mahesh saying that you guys have teached SQL, MySQL, but in my project they're using different database? Will you come and fight? Will you come and fight?
No,
Why? I have taught you how to use Sony pen drive, but in real time you're using Samsung pen drive. Will you come and ask and will you come and fight with us?
no, Santosh, device is different. The process same, but device is different.
Exactly. What you're going to learn is process. So don't think too much. Okay. Wherever you go to Postgres, you go to DB2, you go to Oracle, you go to MySQL, you go to IBM, you go to SQL Server. Anywhere you go, I am not promising that 100% all the syntax will be same. 95%. So 95% of your times, all your databases will have a common syntax. So if you learn on one database, nothing to worry. You can always go and implement in all the databases, right? So don't think too much, but still I need to justify. Still I need to justify. Why am I going to teach you MySQL? Okay. And the justification is in MySQL, I have a dolphin symbol which looks beautiful. And that is why we are going to learn MySQL. Satisfied? Satisfied? I've given you the justification. Yes? The dolphin symbol looks
No,
beautiful, and that is the reason we are going to learn MySQL. Agree? Yes or no?
no, there has to be some other. justification.
Okay. So you learn any database, it's going to be one and the same. Each database will have own features, but again, there is a purpose of choosing MySQL. MySQL is you will get an open source, which is nothing but easily you can install in your machine, right? So easily you can install in your machine. So it's open source, no need to pay for any license as such. You can directly go and install it and you can use it for practice purpose. But if you take something called Oracle or maybe a Postgres, maybe you have to pay something, you have to take an enterprise application, then you have to maintain it. It's all big challenge for me. So that is the first reason of why we take MySQL. It's an open source. And on the right side, you see all the logos of the companies. All these companies, even today, are using MySQL, right? Right from Facebook to NASA, every single company you're seeing here, they are still using MySQL. Okay, so MySQL is a database and it is highly configurable. Like you can have a lot of configurations and you have a high volume cross platformance. You can install it in your Linux machine, you can install it in your Windows machine, you can install it in your Mac machine, right? Easy to use, high security, durability, everything is good. So this is few reasons why we are going to choose MySQL. Again, I'm telling you, every database will have pros and cons. But let's not think about storage. Let's think about only language. So if you're learning the language SQL, you can go and communicate with any database. So with that, we are going to learn MySQL in our course. Don't get confused. MySQL is a database software tool where you can go and write SQL code. What is SQL? SQL is a language. So with language, you can go and communicate to any database which you're seeing on the screen. With this language, you can go and communicate to any database. As I said, if I know English, I can go and communicate to any country. Similarly, you know SQL, you can always go and learn with any database tool, right? Now, what I will do here, what I will do here, here we will go about installation, right? Before using any tool, the first and foremost thing is you need to have a software. So let's go and download the software. Okay, so we have an official site, but don't think too much. I will show you every single step what you need to do. Okay, I'll show you every single step what you need to do. First of all, go and search in Google MySQL download for Windows, right? So the guys who are having Windows machine, download Windows. The guys who are having Mac, you can go and click the third tab, right? Third tab, yeah. So in that you will have given a step-by-step process. But in the class, assuming that majority of you have Windows machine, I'll walk you through the Windows installation. Mac is very easy, straightforward. You also have a documentation for that, which you can always refer. It's very easy. Okay, it's one and the same. What I do here, it's one and the same. Now, first thing is, I'll go and search MySQL download for Windows, and then I will get the first link, download MySQL installer. Just click that installer. You will get this page. You'll get this page. By default, it will be selected one version. Your version may not be exactly my version because the way I have created this database and I've installed was in the year 2023. So 23 I have created. So for you, it's basically like 25, right? So you will have a different version. You may have 8.0.5 or 8.0.6. So always you can get it one license low, I mean one version low, so that it most of the code will be compatible, or you can go with the latest version. Okay, now you have two options. One is a lesser MB and one is a higher MB, right? So the lesser MB is nothing but you can work with the database directly on the browser. That means you need to have internet. You need to have internet. On the internet, you can go and have this, which we can use it on the browser, right? But I would suggest you to go with the desktop version. I would suggest you to go with desktop version. The reason is Desktop version will have a user interface, very good user interface, and you can even work without internet also because this is a software, right? My personal suggestion, go with the software, which is nothing but the second one, right? So once you click this 330 MB, maybe now it could be 400 MB, download it, download it. The moment you click the download it, it will ask you for sign in. No need, because you're not going to use it for your actual projects. You're going to simply use it for your learning purpose. So I can simply go and tell, no thanks, just start my download. And if I do this, automatically in the download, it will get downloaded. Now this is called MySQL installation file, okay, which is called installer file. Now I need to go and copy this, that 330 MB of file. I will have to copy this. After it is downloaded, I will go and copy this. And once I copy this, I will go and put it into any folder like a softwares. I used to put all the softwares in the software folder. You can directly do it from the downloads itself, but I'll created one folder, software. In the folder I've created one MySQL. In the MySQL, I will go and dump this installer which is got downloaded, right? Now, once I get here, I will have to simply go and double click it. I will have to simply go and double click it. Now, if you do a double click, the installation will start. The installation will start. Very easy process. Installation start. In order to make you understand every single thing what I do, I've taken a screenshot. Every single activity which I'm going to do, I've taken a screenshot. Like downloading, copying, double install, I mean double click, everything I've taken a screenshots. Those screenshots will help you to do the installation easily, very easy. Now I'll double click it. Now it is getting loaded. The software, which is nothing but your MySQL, is getting installed. So this is, please wait. Then I'll go here. Then you'll be asked like to select one type of database that you want to install, right? So basically, please don't go with server only. Please don't go with client only. Please don't go with full, because all three requires very high configuration. All three this requires which requires very high configuration. When I say high configurations, it has to be like 16 GB RAM, completely the 16 core system, the spaces should be more, all of this. But again, I'm repeating, we are here for practicing, we are here for learning. So don't go and create full. If you put full, they'll ask you license. Who will go and pay license, right? So I would prefer to go with custom. I would prefer to go with custom. So just click custom. The moment you click custom, go to next, you'll see the screen, right? You'll see the screen. Now, these are all the available products. These are all the available products. Now, I need to bring this product to here so that it can be installed. Very easy. Okay. So here there are many products. From this products, I will have to get that to a right side so that it can create a those type of products. So I'll expand this plus plus plus. If I expand this plus plus plus, in the MySQL, we have a MySQL server. And again, the application, I have a MySQL Workbench. Workbench is a place where you can write the SQL code, right? I repeat, Workbench is a place where you can go and write the SQL code, right? Now, I will actually open this and I will also go and select this My Shell, everything I'll open, and everything I will click this green button, it will get added here. If you want to remove, you can go and click this. If you want to add, you can always go click this. So like this, we have added server, Workbench, router, shell. So this four components has to be installed for your database to work properly, right? So this I've given custom. If you give full, if you give client, a lot of time it will take and it will get hanged because it's a lot of components are there. So it will take a lot of memory also. So for your database, you need only this four. You need a MySQL server, we need a Workbench, we need a router, and we need a shell. So this four is required. So just go and go with next, and this will start getting installed, right? So in this, now there is a bit tricky part. If I want to install this, I need to go and click execute. Okay, so if I hit execute, it will start executing. But the question is, does all the four products has to be installed? For all the 4 products, you will have some dependent or a requirement file that has to be installed first. For example, if I want to use server, workbench, router, and shell, that means I need to have this documents first or this software first. What is this software? It's a Microsoft Visual C++. This has to be there. If this is not there, you have to go and get it in the Google. Okay, but don't go to Google and all. Directly from here only you can download. Okay, how to do that? Go and click execute. And you see that in my system, I don't have Microsoft C++ 2015 to 2019. It will throw a pop-up because it is added in the dependencies, right? So it will go and show a pop-up. What is a pop-up? It will go and say Microsoft Visual C++ is not present. So what I will do, directly I can install from here only. No need to go to Google, search this software, Microsoft C++ from this part, right? So you will not go and see, I don't have this, I don't have this. We cannot see. First, let it come. First, let it come, right? For that first software only I don't have. Let me go and click install. The moment if I click install, this is getting installed. Now, this is not the installation process for database. This is an installation process for the file which was dependent. That is Microsoft C++ I need. That one, we did not have it. So we are going to have it now. What I'm going to do, I'm simply going to click install. So automatically it will install. Now, once this is done, see, you may or you may not get this. If it's a very new laptop, they would have already pre-installed all this, right? Which is nothing but Microsoft Visual C++. But if it is not installed, it's recommended to install it, right? So just go and see when you're running this installation file, is there any dependency pop-up that is coming? If it is there, you have to go and check this, right? So once I do this, again, setup successful. This part is done. Now again, we'll continue. We'll see all the 4 has been ticked. In this only one file was not having the dependent file. So I've actually downloaded that C++, Microsoft C++ I've downloaded. Now all are present. Now all are present, right? Now I'll go and click next. Then the moment if I click next now, these are the 4 products that will get installed. Again, go and give execute. Now this is a bit time consuming task, right? If you go and click this execute, it will go and it will take some time. So this has started installing, 54% completed. This is complete. This is complete. This one is in progress. Wait till the all the 4 it comes with the green color. Then after coming all the green color, it is still present actually. The last one installing that 54% done. And now if you come here, after all this 4, again the execute button will be enabled. You go and click execute button and you'll be able to see your product configuration. So in the product configuration, one you will have server, one you will have a router. Now again go here, go and click next, go and click next. Don't change anything, go to next, and don't change anything, go to next. The moment if you click next, it will ask you the authentication password to log in for this database, right? So I will go and give next, and here it will ask you the root password. Okay, you can give any password, but make sure that it is simple because it is your development database only. No one is going to see your tables. No one is going to see your records. It is only for practice purpose. Try to keep it as less as possible, like welcome 1234, or maybe you can keep it as password. Anything you can keep, but make sure it is very simple. Okay. So once you give the password here and here, go and click next, and automatically the entire process will come. And after the entire process will come, you will be able to see the screen. Don't do anything. Simply go and click next, and simply go and click next, and you click execute. This is the last step. Now if you go and execute, automatically everything will be tick 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 tick, and we are in the last page. All this is done. Now finally you can see that all are green. Now you will get this screen. After clicking execute, you will get this screen. So this screen, it is clearly telling that installation is complete. Okay. Now after the installation complete, you will see something called this a command prompt, which will come and disappear. It's a black command prompt you will see, and it will disappear. But here, this is what is the main thing. Once you open the software, it will clearly tell you, welcome to Workbench. It will tell you, welcome to Workbench. Now, in this Workbench is where you will go and write the SQL code. Okay. Now, this is a software. This is a software. It is actually a SQL, MySQL server is there. In the MySQL server, I cannot directly go and code it. I need to code it through a UI, that is interface nothing but SQL Workbench. Okay. Now, after this, that's all. Installation is that's all. So I repeat one more time. Every single step I have given in screenshot. This screenshot will be shared to you. You just need to watch it and you need to install it. Very easy only. Everywhere I click next, next, execute, continue. That's all. So by now it is completed, right? Now, what I will do now, now this is done. Let's go to
Santosh, I have question. Jyoti here.
tell me.
Yeah, it shows 8.0.41. Is it okay?
Yeah, should be fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so once you have downloaded and installed it, in the search tab, it will show as MySQL Workbench. Now click this Workbench. Click this Workbench. The database will get open. Now in this database, as I told you, it will clearly show you welcome to MySQL Workbench. Since you're logging for the first time, it is also showing, right? Now, what I'll do here, I will simply go and click this. It is asking the password. This is a password that you have given towards the end of your uh, installation, right? You gave one password, right? You gave one password. That password you have to give here. If you give the password, you'll get a sheet like this. You'll get a sheet like this. Now, this is where we are going to write our actual code. This is where we are going to write actual SQL code. Okay. Now, if you observe, there are so many components. Okay, here there is a schemas. Here there is some space. Here there is some output. Here they have given some syntax. Right now, we'll go back to our presentation. As I told you, we have to go to official site, or you can go and follow the documentation which I've given. You simply need to go and search MySQL installation for SQL. You will get a documentation. The same documentation I've created a PDF. I'll be sharing this. So I requested to download this. Once you download it, you will be, after downloading, you will be first having is a Workbench. Now, Workbench is a place, it's a software where you can go and work with your SQL data, right? And now in the Workbench, you can also provide SQL development, data modeling, configuration, administration, everything will do. Usually all this will be done by managers like administrations. They will manage, or we have an admin team, right? And we have a backups. There is a different teams and configurations. Your managers or different people will do. They will do care of. They will take care of it. Your work is to simply go and write some code and get the analysis, right? Now, what I will do with this MySQL Workbench, we will categorize into 5 parts. We'll categorize into 5 parts, right? The first part where you see a huge space, the first part, you see a huge space here. This is called SQL Visual Editor, where you can go and write a SQL code. So this is a place where you have to go and write your SQL code. Where? In the SQL Visual Editor. Now, once you write the SQL code, you will get the output here. You'll get the output here. Now, this is called query result. The whatever the query which you are running, based on the query, you will get the results. Okay. Based on the results, you'll get the, based on the query which you will get the results. And here, whatever the command which you're running, it will actually show in the history. From morning to evening, let's say I did not shut down my system, and whatever the queries I'm running, it will come and store it in the history tab, right? So history tab we have done, query analysis, it's like writing multiple code or multiple records. Okay, here you will get a query results, you'll get a results. Here you'll get a results, and here you will be writing the code. Here you'll be writing the code. So here you will see the results. Depending on the code you write, you'll be able to see the results. Right? Now, for all of this, you need to have some structure. Like you need to have a table, you need to have a database, you need to have a data, right? And that is nothing but object browser. It's an object browser, right? So you can go and create multiple tables. You can go and create multiple tables, and in the tables you can store the records. It's nothing but object browser. Now at last you have something called help command. At last you have something called help command. You can simply go and select any help command. You go and select any syntax. Automatically you will be getting everything in detail. What is insert? How do you insert the records? How do you show the results? Everything you can go and see. Okay, for example, I'm going here. If I go and click select, what is the select syntax, what it is going to do, everything it is going to tell. And what is update, it will tell you what is update, it will tell you what is create table, what is delete, everything it will tell you. For you, this part is not required. You simply go and click on top of the last square, it will disappear. So I'll get a huge space for writing now. Now you may ask me why help is not required. Come on, it is not required. I'm here to teach you everything from scratch. And also, if you still have doubt, you can always go and get it in Google, which has a great documentation compared to this. Compared to this, your chat GPT or maybe any AI tool or even a documentation will help you. Why you have to go and do this, right? So I will ignore this part. If you want, you can keep it, but it is useless because it is very high level where you have to understand the line by line. So better you can go and browse it and get it. So I will drop this. That means I don't want this. I will go and close this, right? Now this is the place where I will write the code. Now this is a place I will see the results, and one more line will come where if I'm running, the history will come, and finally you have an object browser. When you are downloading for the first time, you may not have any database here. You may not have any database here because you have created for the first time. You have installed for the first time. But me, maybe I've done a number of projects. I've done a lot of things, and that is why you see here, right? That is why you see so many databases in the list. So all these are databases. Right from here, everything is database. But here there is only one thing which is highlighted. The one which is highlighted is nothing but which we call it as a selected database. That is what we are going to select it for our implementation. Okay. Now, this is a overall understanding about installation and the tool. We are all set now. We are all set, right? We have all set. We have the database installed. We have the workbench present. And in the workbench, we have seen where we can write the code. All in all, everything is done. Now, the next thing is to go and write the logic and to go and write the query, right? Any questions so far? What we have done? Any questions so far? What we have done? Is the installation clear? Because while coming to tomorrow's class, you have to install at any cost. From okay, because we are going to start practicals, end of theory, end of PPTs. Now from today onwards, we will be going and seeing only practicals. So this installation is must. Okay, whoever you are, you have to have SQL database in your laptop, personal laptop. Right? Any questions? Any questions on the installation? Are we good? Okay, I'll share you this document. Please install it before coming to the next class. Okay, now I will maintain one table now. Let's see. Okay, for storing the records, I will see here. I will open one Excel. Listen carefully what I'm doing. I want to store customer, maybe product, maybe transaction, or maybe customer data, right? So we have a car, uh, we have a customer name, right? We have customer ID. We have a customer table. We have a customer ID, and we have customer name. We have customer phone number. We have customer email ID. Address. Address is not required. Let's say I'll buy orders, order quantity, or we can say that product, what product is purchased, and what is the sales. Now imagine this is a table now. Okay, this is a table. As you know that a table will have a columns and rows. So imagine this is columns. Now I'll have a rows. Okay. Now customer ID 1, customer name Santosh, customer phone number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Customer email ID santosh@gmail. So product which I purchase is iPhone, which I purchased for 65,000. Right? Now the same customer now has purchased a smartphone. Not smartphone, smartwatch. Let's say has purchased for 3,000. Okay. Let's say I have 3,500. Now I'll go and take another record, and this time I assume that I have purchased a laptop, which is 95,000. Now I'll delete this record. Let's say second customer. This guy has not purchased any product. Now again, a same person. Assume that this time he has purchased a Samsung phone. $15,000. Okay. Now I'll take the third customer, or I'll not take third customer. I'll simply go here. I will take clock. I'll take speaker. So clock I'll give it for 999. Speaker I'll give it for 350. Now this is one table now. This is one table now. Okay. If you see customer ID 123 has purchased three products, iPhone, watch, and laptop. Customer 2, first time he did not purchase. Second time he has purchased. Right? He has purchased If I go and ask you this question, is this table good enough? What you will tell?
It has a lot of
No, Santosh.
It has lot of
blanks.
Confusing.
Duplication.
Lot of duplicates also is there in this table.
okay.
Specify all those things here.
Unstructured.
This is not unstructured. Everything which I'm putting in a table format, this is called structured.
Yeah,
Customer
this is
details
structured, but so
noted.
so customer
Insufficient data,
information is going to duplicate over
having
here.
some missing values.
It's not organized like
Some cleaning can be done in this.
Normalization.
Data is repetitive.
Data is repetitive. Okay, next.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Now I'm
So
asking, we
we
are
need
storing a table. In the table, we have a customer ID, customer name, product, what product he has purchased, what is the total sales he has made. Now this is what I'm having. Okay, if you feel confused, let's make it as price, product price. Okay, now this is a table. Now in this table, there are two products which no one has purchased. Clock and speaker, no one has purchased. And there is a Rahul who did not purchase anything. Like this, we have all the data here. Is there anything wrong with the table is a question.
Yeah, in Rahul, custom phone number is same and name
No,
is same,
nothing
but
wrong in the table.
Some data is missing.
Okay.
I mean, it's not repetitive. Different product, so it is repetitive. So any
Okay.
name
confusing and not organized.
Okay. So this one I'll call it as bad design. The reason why I'm going to call it bad design because first of all, this is a duplication. You may ask me, it's not duplicate because I am buying iPhone, smartphone, or watch three different products. Yeah, you're right. But why do you have to write my phone number 3 times? Why you have to write my email ID 3 times? Why you have to write my name 3 times? Simply ID would have been enough, right? Why are you writing duplicates, right? Now the second person, if you see again, there is a duplicates. 2 times it is coming. Ideally speaking, 1 time if it comes, it is enough. And also you can see that he has not purchased the product, right? And if you see here, the other 2 rows, it is null because we don't have anyone who has purchased this product, right? Now, this is called bad design. The bad design because every data you're going to dump it in the same table. Every data, product data, you're going to dump it. Maybe the guys who have purchased also, you can go and see that that also is here. Customer also is here. So everything you have dumped into a same table. This is called bad design. This is called bad design. So what I will do now, I will go and create one good design. I'll go and create one good design. What I will do here, I'll create one table. I'll store only this products. Customer ID, customer name, customer phone number, customer email ID. Okay. Now I'll go here and I'll take all the customers, row number 1, row number 2, now this is what it is, total customer, customer table. Okay. So I will not put anything here. Now I'll go here. I'll take a product and I'll put it here. So this is customer table. This is product table. And I'll delete this extra line. Okay. Now one is called customer table, one is called product table. Now I need to find out who has purchased what. So I'll go and say transaction table. I'll take customer ID. I'll take the product who has purchased. Okay. So customer ID 1, customer ID 1, customer ID 1, customer ID 1. So what are the products he has purchased? iPhone, Samsung, and smartphone. Similarly, who is a 2? 2 has not, but 2 has purchased only one product. Customer ID 2, he has purchased a Samsung phone. The same data what you see on the bad design, the same data which you see on the bad design, where I have a customer data, transaction data, and the customer data, transaction data, and product data, I've created a 3 different tables. Created a 3 different tables. Now tell me, is this good, clean, neat and clean, or this is good, neat and clean? Good design or bad design?
Second one is good.
Good designs.
Se- Second one is good. That means this is what you need to create it. This is what you need to create it. So whenever you are creating a database, make sure that that particular data is stored in particular table. Okay. I think I've already given this example for you. I've already given this example for you. While I was talking about the data engineering on the day 1, I would have given this example for you here. See, the way you organize this, this is table number 1. This is table number 2. In the table number 1, what I have done? I have dumped everything in the same table. Everything. Customer data, product data, transaction data, everything I've dumped here. So this is basically dumping everything into a single table. This is not at all a right way. This I will call it as bad design. This I'll call it as a bad design. Now what I have done here? Here I have arranged shoes properly here. Maybe my purse, bags here, maybe towels or hats here, maybe dress here, right? So it's well organized. This is called each and every department I'm storing in one table. So that is where this is a good design now. So this is a customer table, this is a product table, this is a transaction table. Like this, we can create it. So whatever I've designed in the bad design, I've converted that into a good design. Now this is how it can store. The reason why we are doing this is this will actually give you the clarity. Okay, when I say clarity, the clarity is it will tell you what record is present in which table. This is what we need. Right? Now going forward, let's start creating this type of tables. Okay, now how many tables are there? How many tables are there? The number of tables that what we have is 3 tables, right? Now imagine this is Amazon. In Amazon also we have Amazon customer ID, Amazon customer name, Amazon customer phone number, Amazon customer email ID. Similarly, Amazon products, Amazon price, Amazon transaction, right? So what I will do, I will put all this collection of tables into one space called database. This is database. So database is a collection of tables. Simple. What is table? Table is a collection of records. That's all. Database is a collection of tables. Table is a collection of records. So totally in this, if you see, we have one database and three tables. One is a customer table, one is a product table, one is a transaction table. Are we good? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, Santosh.
Okay. Now all this is done. End of theory, end of discussion, everything is done. Now the next task is we have to go and create the tables. Customer table, product table, transaction table. I need to go and create it. Don't go and create this. This is only for your explanation. This is a very bad design. If you dump everything here, some people will not buy products, or some people will say that no, I don't have money. So all this you're reading, adding here, it becomes null values. Right? Try to avoid null values as much as you can in the tables. So this becomes null, this becomes null. So this customer did not show up, or this products no one has purchased. So that's why here and here it's null. So I want a good design. For a good design, you will not find any null values as of now. And you will be seeing no duplicates. Customer ID is duplicated, that's fine. But see here, customer ID, customer name, customer phone number, customer email ID, everything is duplicated because he has purchased 3 products. I've simply maintained them in the separate table. Okay, so in the next class, we are going to do the hands-on. We are going to do everything from practicals. Okay, so today we have seen the installation, we have seen MySQL, why we are doing that, and where we are writing code. We are going to write the code in the Workbench, and in the Workbench, the first thing is I have to create a database, and then followed by I have to create a tables, and that is what we are going to do next. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, Santosh. Yes.
Are we all good? Yes?
I'm sorry,
Yes,
just
sir.
the next class,
Yes.
Sorry,
we will learn the next what? I'm sorry, can you repeat, please?
what?
The next class, what we will learn?
We will do this practically. Whatever we
Create
have
the
created.
tables.
Yeah, we will be creating the database. We'll be creating the table. We'll be loading the data.
Okay.
But before coming to the next class, I would request you to install the software and come.
What about for Mac installation?
Mac installation, as I told, if you go here, you will get a documentation by I mean, my MySQL only I've created a documentation. It is very straightforward. You can follow the steps. It's very easy. Like what we have done in Windows, you will be doing same thing in the Mac. You have a documentation for that. Okay, you can follow that. Or else you can reach out to us. We will also share you the document. We don't have screenshots, but we can share you the documents.
Thank you.
Where we will get the documents?
Just go here. MySQL download. For Mac. See, there's a document. How to install everything they have given. This is a direct method you can follow, or you can follow this method also. See what you need to do. Same everything what I've created screenshots, they have also created. First, you have to download this. Then it's saying you press a continue to begin. Continue, agree, customize. So this is a software. Again, install.
Can you share the link, Santosh, in the
Yeah,
chat? Yeah, thanks.
I'll do that. This document
About
refer
the
it. Everything it will be there. Okay, you can have to give a password, install it, everything you'll be able to see. Is that clear? Are we good?
Yes, Santosh. Thank you.
I have pre-installed the SQL, MySQL.
Yeah, you can practice in that only.
It's from last year. Will it work or?
Yeah, it will work.
Okay.
See, if you are learning for the first time, I would request you to go with MySQL only. If you're already knowing it, you do it in any database. But first time, if you're learning, follow my rules so that you will be able to learn everything from scratch. Because from tomorrow, every single line we are going to learn what it is. So for that, you need a database. So I have MySQL database so that you can be with sync. Whatever I practice, you can also practice on the same day. Are we good?
Hello, Santosh.
Yeah.
Santosh, you will also teach the problem solving part, there are problems of SQL in HackerRank or Lead Code. Will you guide us through that also?
Yes, we will do that. We will be teaching that as well. So you should be able to answer any question in interview.
Okay.
Any other questions? Are we good?
Hello, Santosh.
Yeah.
After installing MySQL in type and networking, not showing next button to click. It's showing choose the correct server configuration type for MySQL server installation.
Windows or Mac?
Windows.
I'll share you the document. Okay, please go
Okay.
through the document step by step where you will be able to select the options. What I've selected, you can select it. Just follow the documentation, you will understand.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I'll share the documents with you all and install it before you come for the next class. Okay. Any questions? All good? Okay. So if you don't have any questions, tomorrow is the last class for your free class. After that, from Monday onwards, it's going to be a registered sessions. So talk to our team and get registered from tomorrow onwards. Okay. So we'll stop here. Thank you.